I want to learn a little bit more about what your process is, because we've kind of danced around it and we've hinted at it. I know, recruiting and identifying A players for an organization is your kind of sweet spot. What does your process look like for, from top of funnel to bottom of the funnel?
From sourcing to interviewing, everything.
Yeah.
That's gonna take a long time.
Can you sum it up in 3 words?
3 words.
No, I can't.
Yeah, we were doing this for so long. We have built a playbook and process around all of it. So, I mean, at the front end, I can tell you, I can go kind of quick, but at the front end, it's a true understanding of the client's needs. And that means that they understand their needs and we understand their needs, and we're all on the same page in regards to the speed at which this is going to happen, because we move very quickly. The second thing is to agree on our search strategy. So we understand competition, companies that we're going after, the market. We understand everything. As we go to market, now we bring data to our clients. And while most companies think they know exactly what they're looking for in their next hire, in actuality, when we start to bring them really good talent, it actually screws them up a little bit, because they're like, wow, we never had this level of talent before. And so now they're starting to adjust and change and pivot and tweak. And they say, wow, these 2 candidates, this is exactly what we're looking for. Keep helping us find individuals like this. So then our team, once we understand that skill set and we start introducing candidates, we start getting data and feedback. And so as we go to market, we continue to fine tune and get better at our searches. Usually 6 to 10 people, you're going to make a hire. Somewhere in that range from us, right? And the entire time it's communication. So we go to market. As we go to market, we are bringing in, individuals, and we're meeting with them and interviewing them. We do a full interview. Could take 45 minutes. It could take an hour. And the reason why it takes so long is because we start at as early as pre-college. We're trying to figure out who are these people. And those personality characteristics help us to understand who they are. We want to know what their story is. Besides just looking at them on paper, we need to understand the story, because the story is what's going to help us figure out what type of performer this person is. And there's a lot, salespeople are creatures of habit. So you can find a lot of commonalities. Did they work in high school at a local pizza place? Did they ride their bike to work every day? Did they go out and, this was like my daughter. She's, recently she's a junior. She was an SDR at a technology company. She literally rode her bike to the pizza place down the street, and she got a job there. She went in, asked for the job. She saved all her money. She bought her own car. She wanted to do it herself, right? She became an SDR. Her counterpart, the rep, gave them a whole bunch of leads. She cold called every single one of hers, right? So, you want to understand, what is this? Where did this person come from? What kind of family did they grow up in? Did they grow up in an entrepreneurial environment? Were their parents in sales? We're trying to understand everything. That sounds crazy at all levels, but it's not, because once you start to understand the story, you realize they were a family. They were the youngest of 5, and they had to really work their tail off to make things happen. They had to pay for their education, and they financed their college degree, and they were the captain of the soccer team or the field hockey team or the basketball team. And they got wonderful grades, and their first job out of school was maybe was an SDR. And they worked really hard. And, the whole way through, saying they were the number 1 SDR. And why was that? Because I made more phone calls and I did more emails, and then you will follow their career. And by the way, that recap is pretty quick, because as you get into their career, you're really starting to figure out, what have you done? What have you sold? Who have you sold to? Where have your successes been? You've worked at a small company and you worked at small companies and large companies. Your greatest successes was a $50 million company with an average deal size of $250,000 and a 1.2 or 1.5 or $2 million quota. Right? What are we looking for in your next search? And if we were to look historically back at your background based on your characteristics and your successes, we would suggest a company that looks very similar to this one. Would you agree? Yes. Or we would suggest looking at a management role, or a director role, or a VP role, or a CRO role, or a GM role. But the idea is we need to understand their entire background. We need to understand their skill set, what they've sold, and then we can make recommendations and suggestions as to what a good next step is in their career and how they can add value both professionally as well as financially.